I was thinking this. This is what I was thinking. I was watching the inauguration, and one of the things that I noticed with the inauguration when the Donald Trump went and was about to make his speech there, and it wasn't very unifying, I must say, like bringing Biden together or so, bringing the states together or so. He was actually saying the same thing what he has been saying on the campaign trail. The same thing. And also at Davos, he's saying the same thing.
My administration has taken action to abolish all discriminatory diversity, equity, and inclusion nonsense. And these are policies that were absolute nonsense.
Davos. He was in Los Angeles saying the same thing. Wherever he's going, he's saying the same thing. And I wonder, and I said, hang on a second. This guy's a point. He's actually on a campaign trail now. He's with some supporters or whatever, saying the same thing. Now, you don't see that a lot with leaders these days. With leaders, what they have promised, they say they're going to carry through. The guy just won the House. The guy just won the Senate. The guy just won the popular vote. He's got a massive mandate. No wonder he was upset when the bishop or the preacher was saying what he's saying, that he looked over at Vance, and Vance looked over at him and said, what's going on here? We just won this thing. We got a mandate from the... Now, if he doesn't do what he said he's promised to do, he's going to be a failed, as they say, walking dead man. You lose the House midterm elections. Now, if I juxtapose that with Keir Starmer in the UK, Keir Starmer, our prime minister, went and they beat the Conservative, bam, bam, reform was coming up, but the manifestos made clear, no new taxes, no new taxes. That's what he said. And ladies and gentlemen, the first thing that they did, a budget with new taxes. Nothing was in the manifesto about removing the fuel allowances from the elderlies. Waboom, that came up saying that there was a 22 billion black hole. And what Keir Starmer kept saying, it's going to be worse till it gets better. And everybody's like, oh my days, this isn't the guy that we just voted in to say that we want a better UK. And guess what? 3 million people on a petition voted. Signed a petition, say they want a new election. 3 million people in the UK signed a petition. They wanted a new election. And once it reaches a certain amount, they have a debate. But that debate is not made in the House. That debate is in another committee room. What you're seeing is leaders not honoring what they said they're going to do. In contrary to Trump. Trump is sweeping up in the yard. Now, I'm not saying I'm a supporter of Trump or not, but I believe if I was in the States, honestly speaking, I believe I'm more likely to vote Trump than Kamala. I was recently taken to task on a social media site when a person said the way I spoke, he's glad that I wasn't in the States because more than likely I may vote Trump. I said, Brethren, I'm free to vote whosoever I want to vote. And he was alluding that, hey, you don't need to say anything like shut up. And I said, Brethren, I'm free to say what I want to say. Yeah, free to speak about Jamaica, free to speak about anywhere, free to speak about Canada. And then what I did, I tag him. I tagged Donald Trump in the comment. I said, listen, if you have an issue with Donald Trump, the rightful thing that you need to do is this. This is what you need to do. Go and camp out at Pennsylvania Avenue. Campaign and demonstrate. Of course, I didn't hear anything again because many people are worried about their status at the same time. But the point I'm trying to say is that this guy actually is doing what the people voted him in for, whether we like it or not. Now, I'm not in the USA, right? I'm in the UK. But let's shine a spotlight on Jamaica now. Shining a spotlight on Jamaica, you realize, I say, hang on a second. Are we singing properly a yard, or we just want to dance abroad? It's like Donald Trump is sorting out him yard. Are we sorting out our yard? Now, I am wanting to sort out my yard. That is why I speak upon many different issues. Like I say, is Mr. Delroy Chuck, has he resigned? You know, I look at it and say, hang on a second. Delroy Chuck, the Minister of Justice, recently said that all the members of parliament should not subscribe to section 40.1 of the Integrity Commission Act by disclosing over you and asking your wife and your partners to say their income, because they're trying to scrutinize, they're trying to deal with this thing about transparency, accountability, check if all that money is gone into their bank account, because we know what can happen. So I said, hang on a second, if a Mr. Delroy Chuck, who is the Minister of Justice, happened in the UK, he would have been sacked. You would have resigned already. So I said, hang on a second, is Delroy Chuck still the Minister of Justice? The point I'm trying to say is that where is the accountability? Where is the governance? You know, where is the singing a yard, wanting to see a better yard? Because guess what? If people are then moved from the USA, deported from the USA, what am I do? Am I go back a yard? Right? Then I'll go back a yard and what? You know, deal with yard. And I believe that is very important at this point, at this junction in our life, that we develop yard as much as possible. Right? And I'm in the process, because the other day we were talking last week, and we are talking and saying, where is civics? Where is civics? No, civics is not in the school. So I just said, hang on a second. No big deal. I'll teach civics on TikTok. And some guys say, yeah, that's a good idea. Teach civics on TikTok. Teach it on TikTok. Teach it on social media. Get the book. And I got the book. Somebody sent me a book, which, a cover of a book. Couldn't find it, but the person's going to get it from Jamaica. Creating actions, creating solutions. You know, that's the way how one has got to actually operate in this way. Because guess what? Things are not pretty. Because I always say this to myself. While I'm in the UK, if anything happens, and I'm shipped out of the UK or deported or whatever like that, me not have a problem with going back to Ochireas. If I have to leave the UK, and that's what I always said to myself when I came to the UK in 1992, I always say that, boy, one thing I have to do, I've got to marry someone from Jamaica, man, because if I want to go back to Jamaica, I don't want to have a problem marrying someone from Britain or so, and they say, oh, we're not going to go back to Jamaica. So I said, let me marry someone from Jamaica. And guess what? I even married someone straight from Ochi. Straight from what? That's from my hometown as well. Because if I decide and I say, and anything happen and I want to go back to yard, then I'm happy. Yeah, man. Send me on a flight, man. You know, pack me up, send me home, straight to Jamaica, straight to yard. I have no problem in going back to Jamaica to my yard. Many people sometimes will say, oh, I have nobody in Jamaica. I can't go back to Jamaica. I don't know nobody in Jamaica. Come on, give me a break, man. Jamaica, your yard, you don't have nobody. You burn bridges then or something like that. You, Mr. Tubbs? They burn bridges, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna have a chat with. I'm gonna have a chat here with Mr. Tubbs. Mr. Tubbs, sir, how are you, man? Oh, what's
hey,
up?
Sidel, what's up?
What am easy?
Yeah, man. First of all, you let me just say, you opened the button excellently. I don't think you could find a better opening, you know, than you did. You know.
Yeah.